All right. Hello. Hello. It is a lovely July 19th, 2026 day in the Otherhood. And I'm Penelope Flynn, your moderator and co host. And I'm here with the rest of the Blerdsassins Next Door. We got Otto, Nikki, Sonia, and Cranston just jumping in. And today we're going to be discussing whether we really need to revisit the classics. So before we get started, as usual, we're going to talk about the weather. So Otto, you are top center. How is the weather in your otherhood?
So we're located in the Southwest, and it's end of July and entering August.
Yep. So which circle of hell are you in now?
Mm, saying the third level, maybe. We're reaching triple digits now, so
Okay, that
I
sounds
no
reasonable.
no explanation no explanation really needed at this point.
Yes, yes. And how about you, Sonia? You're up there where you're getting the cooler weather. What's it like with you?
It is definitely cooler now because we had flash flood storms yesterday
Wow.
and tornadoes. So now it's
Wow.
only 71, feels like 76, and the Canadian smoke looks like it has finally cleared the air so you can breathe when you get outside.
Well, that's great. This been your
Yeah.
rain actually cleared the
Let's
air
see
then.
water.
We hope
You hope.
if Canada goes back on fire again, we'll be getting another dose.
Well, hopefully enjoy
But
this break
it's,
that you have right now
yeah, we
of being
all
able to
walked out and
breathe.
went, "What's that bright thing in the sky? Oh, it's the sun. We can actually see it because there's no smoke covering it up."
Right. I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
it.
I can speak on behalf of James, who's not here, but that
Hmm.
smoke reached all the way through to New York City, and the rain that came down curiously flooded the city. There were cars that was floating in the streets,
Yeah,
Really?
we had
and
floods here too.
a,
Yeah,
a couple of people were actually trying to swim in the streets,
Okay, y'all. Don't get cray cray. Don't get crazy.
especially Queens,
Oh well, that's to be expected.
nitwits and Queens. Yeah,
yeah. We were driving back because we went shopping before the storms hit, and coming home during the storms. And right after we came home, there was a road closing that announced that the one of the roads we had just been on closed for flooding.
Wow. I mean, you got lucky that you got
So
in.
our angels were watching over us.
Yeah, you got lucky that you got in and out before the stoppage because that can be a pain. And as you sit there and wonder, okay, great, but this was the way I planned to get home. So how do we do it now?
And we were
well,
already on a detour because our original way home had been detoured because of doing road work. So
Wow.
we would have had to detour from the detour.
and the thing is, living in the city, I always thought stuff like that happened in upstate,
Hmm.
but I don't remember all this stuff like floods. We never had any floods. This is new.
Yeah. Yeah. All this new
Yeah,
Well,
ever since
never had
Sandy.
global
weather.
warming before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
be. Yeah, it gotta be something, man.
Something.
Ever since Hurricane Sandy, things have been different. I mean,
Hmm.
we used to laugh at the South, like Florida. I said, "Oh
Hmm.
boy, look, they got weather down there." And by the time it reached up to the Northeast, it was just a heavy drizzle, heavy rainfall. But that's about it. We never had floods. Floods is for Kansas.
Yeah. And now it's become almost every year, and that's kind of crazy.
The
All right.
storm of the decade every year.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? At least that's what you all were told, that you would never get something like this. Maybe once in a blue moon, but now it's having to prepare every year. And I guess we can ask you to Nikki. You're down in the sunny South. Is it sunny in the South?
It is 92 degrees here, y'all. It
And
it is hot. I got the air on, I got my fan on, and I can barely feel it.
wow,
That's
wow.
how hot it is, and I'm in the house.
Why don't you close your window? That'll help.
The window's not even open.
Are you sure?
I am positive. I
Okay,
never open my windows.
okay. Well,
Never.
yeah, that's true because you have the air on. So yeah, why would you do that?
Exactly.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's what's
And
happening here.
wow. And how about you, Cranston? How's your weather?
We've been in the mid 90s all week.
Wow. I mean, and is it rainy? Is it sultry with the heat and humidity, or is it just just that kind of heat that's nice that makes you think I should be out on the beach?
Well, it's the heat you get used to because you get
Mm-hmm.
it every day. But surprisingly, it's been a mild hurricane season.
Mm.
I mean,
Have y'all had
everywhere.
any? I
Thank
mean, have you
you.
had
No,
any hurricanes actually hit? Nothing,
no.
right?
And even by now, you should have hit the other, like Puerto Rico and the Bahamas,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But it's been incredibly mild.
Well, that's good to hear that you've had an incredibly
Yeah,
mild
yeah,
hurricane season.
yeah. Especially if you're in Hurricane Alley. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. But how much of the alley are you actually in? Being in in the Jacksonville area, do you all get as much as South Florida or even the Panhandle?
it usually hit Miami and head
Mm-hmm.
up the coast toward
Mm-hmm.
the Carolinas, or it'll come across the and head toward Atlanta. But we haven't been hit with a big storm. We got heavy rain, but not a
Mm-hmm.
direct hit in
Okay,
God about 30 years.
that's good. I mean, that's
Yeah, we
good because
think
I
so.
remember back when I was young and we lived in Florida. You're right that um, route that would take like straight up the coast. It doesn't seem to do that anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
do that.
Florida,
And the funny
Mm-hmm.
thing is, they have a marker up that shows you, well, if you get this much rain, this is how high the water's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It'll usually push everything near the
Yeah,
river out, but we've been able to stay away from that. So, fingers crossed.
well, for me, you're
yeah,
breaking up a little bit,
yeah, it
Chris. For
sounds like
me,
a
I don't.
Cylon. It's like a Cylon.
Transfer to Cylon.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm glad though that you're not getting too much oppressive heat and rainwater, but you're gonna get, we're
yeah.
getting
So far,
into
so good.
summer proper, and it's gonna heat up, and you're going to be dry. Is Florida getting any rain?
Uh, enough to keep the wildfires down.
The wildfire.
It,
I don't know what it's going to do with the crops, but so far so good.
Huh.
And Florida got alligators still.
Well,
yeah.
Alligators, iguanas, and Gila monsters, man. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
reptile kingdom.
What's the
Florida's
other
becoming a
name?
reptile kingdom.
What you call it? Not Komodo dragons, but monitor lizards.
Monitor
You know,
lizards in Florida.
I don't want those. I'm sorry. When you say that, I mean that means I will never swim again in Florida. I do not want to be attacked by monitor lizards. That's it. I am done.
All it takes is one generation of somebody releasing those things in the
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. Somebody got one and they're trying to be cute, because I have something that's exotic and they don't take
Right,
care of it and it ends up
right.
outside and gone and now it's laying eggs and there we go.
That's all it
well, actually,
takes.
what's happening is there are pet stores that are not well constructed, and something will happen, and they'll all escape that way. So it's not
Mm,
so much the drug dealers deciding that this is not as good a pet as I thought it was going to be, but
yeah.
it's legitimate salespeople that they have gotten away from.
They
And
should
of
not allow
course,
them to bring those things into the country.
well, yes, they should be, but you have things that usually be a story about somebody smuggling them in there, sewn into their
Right,
clothes
right,
or
right.
something like that,
What a
and then
moron.
they get turned over to legitimate places and they escape.
That is
And being an invasive species, there's nothing there to
yeah,
uh,
they have no natural
to keep
predators.
them from breeding. Yeah,
That is insane.
But
And
other
I'm
than that,
sorry, I don't even want to see one of those things anywhere because they can climb and they can get in your pool and they can swim. You'll be in the pool swimming, minding your own business, and look next to you a monitor lizard. No
You can't
thanks.
swim.
yeah.
You can't swim fast enough to get away from them.
Heck no, man. I'm out.
Well,
I am not
not
doing that.
not until you see it. Then all of a sudden, it said, "Hey, we got a new uh, 300 meters person here."
Yeah, that's right. And that would be me.
And I
That would
heard,
definitely be
and
me.
Penelope, I heard they love mangoes too.
Wow, that is nuts. I don't want any part of that nonsense.
So you
There's
got a
got to be
mango
some way to
tree or
kill those
something.
things off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be because there's just no way.
No, was there too many of them? Remember that show with what's his name from The Office was in, where they were paying people in Florida to kill
Oh,
crocs or
yeah, yeah.
alligators?
Kill the were they pythons?
Well,
Something like that.
Met
Kill
Python, right, right,
pythons.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah,
that's
to
a real
pay.
thing. That was a real
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
iguanas. I
they
think they
still
did it
do
too.
that.
yeah.
But I tell you this much. I mean, I went to visit my mom a few years back, and that place was crawling with iguanas. But the last time I went to visit her, I only saw two in the entire time that I was there, and I was there for weeks.
Could be a cycle.
I'm thinking the monitor lizards are eating them. That's what I think is going on.
Right.
To
Remember
be
the
honest, I'm sorry, but
Uh huh.
I heard from Mom the other day, Penelope and Otto and
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
We got an iguana living on our roof.
Yeah.
Well, put some iguana poison up there.
Huh?
what's
I
why
don't know what that would look like, but
is he
I
bothering
definitely will
you?
get some.
Is
Yes,
he
The
it
bothering
thought,
you?
the thought of
just
it
the
being up there
thought of it
bothers
being
me.
on the roof of my house
Yes,
is bothering
agreed.
me.
Bothers me.
Why does it
I'm
bother
bothered
you?
by it
Because
He's
it's
on
because
the.
the roof of my house.
He's not
anything
in
can
the roof.
happen.
He's
Anything
not
can
in the
happen.
roof,
He
It
but he's
could
can
not in
drop
it.
handle.
down off the roof on top of me as I'm walking out the door.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be funny as hell if that happened.
Oh my God,
Uh-uh.
no! I would
And jump
die.
down.
I
I
would
like to see him jump
absolutely
down
die.
and jump on Nikki's back or something like that.
Oh shoot.
That'd be
Y'all
funny
just
as
That's
hit
funny,
my
but
hell.
it's somebody other than me.
y'all just
Oh
hit my
man.
obituary together. That's all I
Oh yeah,
ask.
I know.
And get a nice
I'm
looking
with
picture
you.
of me.
I am with you because I
Shoot, that'll
would
kill
just
me.
They got a
that would
ring.
kill me.
Y'all got a ring camera or something like that. I'll pay
That
for that.
would I'm with you. That would also kill me. So yeah, I'm with you on that,
Hmm.
Nikki.
Help me.
I sure would. That would be me. I'd be running
Help
Yeah,
all
me.
up
I
and
would
down
not be able to manage
49th
that.
Avenue.
I would not be able to manage that at all. I
Mm-mm.
am with you 100%.
Nope.
How
Nope.
in the world can you have something like that jumping on you?
And they have the
Help me.
nerve. They have the
Help me.
nerve to come
Hmm.
on down from the roof and just put their tail in the pool to cool themselves off.
And then now you can't use the pool because they put their nasty little lizard
Exactly.
bodies in it.
And now they're
Exactly.
gonna now they're gonna move their whole entire family on top of your roof.
It
Probably.
could happen. It could
Yep.
happen.
Probably.
They're not very
And
considerate
and now your
of
house will
other
be called
people.
the iguana house.
That's right.
Why are you instigating, Otto?
Your whole roof be covered in iguanas.
That would be so disgusting.
Oh
I'm not
man.
worried about it because if it happens, I'm packing and I'm moving to Dallas. I'm gonna stay with you and Penelope. That's why I'm not
No,
really
you keep your
worried.
iguanas. You keep your
The
iguana
iguanas.
ass where you at.
I'm coming to stay with y'all.
Yeah.
An
All right.
iguana free
Well, wow.
house.
Yeah. All right. So now that we get off our iguanas and into our topic, which is, do we really need to revisit the classics? And this came about, of course, as we're looking at things like Animal Farm and, of course, this is the was it the animated version of the Animal Farm that I saw back when I was, I think, in elementary school, and then saw it again in high school and understood it, more in high school than I did, of course, when I was in elementary school. And then this thing now that they did of the Animal Farm, I don't know what it was that they were trying to tell us because I guess they're trying to make it just into some sort of story, but not understanding the underlying political um, issues that promoted something like this to be written in the first place.
Well, it's not really animated, is it? It's more of like a claymation or whatever. I don't know what
It's
it's
still
called. But
animation. That's a form of animation.
is that
It's still
animation?
animated.
Is that
Yeah,
you know, Toy Story animation?
yeah. It is a form of animation. Yeah,
Huh. Okay.
anything that's
I thought it was
moving
like
is
some
a form of animation.
anything moving. Anything that
Yes,
moving that's not alive.
drawings. Yeah, drawings that move or animated.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay,
then it
and
is animation. Yeah,
yeah, and in
yeah,
fact, when you were talking about the Animal Farm, the earlier one, I'll see what
yeah.
it is that they call it. I mean, they of course they have. I don't know. This one I think is okay. They have several. 2025. They have one from 1999, one from 1945, and 2023. I don't know what that is. The one I think is the one we saw is probably the 1945 version.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
that one. Yeah, that one for 1954. But I don't think that is it because the drawing on it, like it may be because yeah, this I don't know. Yeah, this may be the 1954 version, maybe the one that we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
it is
it.
the 1954 version.
Right.
So yes, those of you all who have not seen it, there is the 1954 version, and it had a. I mean, it made a impression on me. When I was a kid. You know,
Well, I
so
read
that's.
the book first. I mean, I didn't
I think
read the book intentionally, but I had to read the book because it was required reading.
right. Well, for us, I saw the animated version first. Then we read the book, and then saw the animated version again when I was in high school.
Hmm.
So that was my movement into it. And let me see. I don't know. I don't know if anybody wanted us to post like the IMDb information about it because IMDb will tell you, of course, if you look at it, where you can find it. It says Prime Video and Fossum is
It's
streaming
on
on
YouTube
those.
as well. I think. I think it's on
And,
YouTube as well.
and as Otto also says, it may additionally be on YouTube.
Yeah, and I read the book first, and then I saw the animated version, the 1954 version,
Hmm.
and I can vouch for the fact that it is reflective of the book. I mean,
Yeah.
the book takes like 2 minutes to read. It's
Yes,
not
it's
that
it's
long.
just it's like a novelette. It's very
Yeah,
small.
it's very short.
Yeah, very short, but very pointed. It gets to the point. But again, like you said, it follows the book. And this new thing they did, however, and this is a problem, it does not really follow the
Oh
book.
no, you're not even close. We said not really. I mean,
Yeah, it just
this was
all it does
done.
is have the fact that the animals and they're on a farm, and then there's a
That's about it.
takeover. It's just
That's about it.
the basic premise is still there, but I think they missed the point kind of the book in this new film.
Well, it was done by Angel Studios, so that tells you a lot.
Oh, okay. And what else did they do that would make me say, "Aha"? Angel Studios. What else have they produced for us?
A lot of really,
Bad stuff.
yeah, with a bent toward like they're saying they're family oriented, but not really.
Okay, but it's just not. It's just it's what it is. Is like trying to make things give a G rating so they can make more money off of it. You know, that's what I think. So they get a G rating so we can make more cash off of it. I don't know. Can you all hear me? Did I like blank out something? It sounds like nothing. I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay, okay,
Nikki
cool.
just got kicked off again.
Yeah, well, I'll see when she jumps on again. I'll pull her up. So with this thing, like Animal
No,
Farm, like I say
I had to
here.
go check out. I had to go check out the blank. Somebody rang the doorbells.
Okay, you ringing
So
the bell?
no,
I
I
answered the
think
bell.
yeah. So Angel
Huh?
Studios, if you look them up, you'll see what the
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff they do. So they do
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff that. Let me put it this way: it's the side of like I think it's like more like Ten Commandments kind of stuff or
Oh.
that kind of
Mm.
stuff. But the issue is that there are a lot of I guess it'd be called A-listers in this movie.
But you
Who
know how I
doing who's doing
feel
the
about.
voice talent?
That's how I feel. Anything that they have too many A-listers, either in the voice talent or in the physical live action, it is just kind of cram a bunch of A-listers in it. It rarely is good. I've rarely seen anything that is good where they cram a lot of quote unquote
Yeah,
A-listers.
but these the voice actors, I wouldn't think they would have anything to do with Angel Studios.
Well, I mean, everybody needs to pay them bills, so there you go. A lot of people do
I guess
anything
you're
just to
right.
get some cash. That
I guess you're
they,
right.
I don't understand. Some of these projects that are made at all. But some of these people, again, they would do pretty much anything for some money. A lot of people live in they live the high life for a very long time, and then their careers, start to take a turn because they're getting older, and different new people are coming into the industry, and they're not getting all the work that they thought they were going to have, like for the next 10 years when they bought all those expensive items that they are currently having to pay for. So they don't get to be as picky, I think, with the projects. You know, so that's what I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, yeah, it could
Uh,
be, but you know, I don't know. I mean, some of them are people that not I don't think would be there yet.
mhm.
Like you have the list of actors that they're doing their
Oh, the
voice of
casting. Hold on,
yeah,
I can get that
because
for you.
doesn't seem like there were those people like on the edge. Number one,
But I
and then
said
number
again,
two,
there are a lot of people who live outside of their means. I mean, despite the
yeah,
fact they may be, a star, a celebrity, that doesn't mean they have any money. They pay child support and all those kind of things we talked about. And interestingly enough, the newest version is directed by Andy Serkis.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I mean.
And the thing is, here it says the writers are Nicholas Stoller and George Orwell. Can you imagine? Some
George,
he has a nerve
you know what?
to
You know what you
put his
need to
name
do? You know what
first.
you should do?
Uh-huh.
Just take Orwell's name
Take
off
Orwell's
of it.
name off of it and just say, just this is me. This is the Nicholas Stoller Animal Farm.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with the book. Absolutely nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
so far.
it's complete. As a matter of fact, it's like the opposite of what the book is trying to say.
I don't know. I couldn't get through it. I mean,
It
Yeah,
was
there's Seth Rogen as Napoleon.
yeah,
And
Seth
it
Rogen.
was it was
yeah.
probably it was
Hmm.
probably that they had to license it from the because I don't think it's in public domain yet. So to license it, they had to put George Orwell's name on it.
Um, well, I look at it that I mean, I don't know what to say.
I mean, Seth
Yeah,
Rogen's on
Ted,
there.
you got Ted Matarazzo, and he played the role of Dusty from Stranger Things, the little boy. Steve Buscemi
Yeah,
was Mr. Wentworth. Glenn Close,
yes, they got a bunch of people there.
Laverne Cox plays Snowball. Kieran Culkin, Woody Harrelson is Boxer. Jim Parsons is Carl. Andy Serkis, Randolph the Rooster. Kathleen Turner's Benjamin. Man, I mean, so yeah, up here,
That
a
sounds like
bunch
a
of
bunch of people who owed a favor to whoever was trying to get it
Right, right,
produced.
yeah, yeah,
or being blackmailed.
yeah. He blackmailed. That's it. Or you're under contract, and they said, look, you haven't met the terms of your contract. You got to do something.
Or you
And
like
this
you
this
like
is
these
it.
singers, like these
Mhm.
singers, and you sign a contract, and you got to deliver
Mhm.
5 albums,
Yes, exactly.
and you're on
Exactly.
your
They film
fourth, you're on
films.
your fourth
Yeah.
album.
And you're like, oh shit, I got to give something, right? I don't want to be paying back any money.
That's what
So.
that is because this doesn't have anything to do with Animal Farm.
But
Absolutely
but
nothing to do with
but
Animal
but my
Farm.
question then is, why did they choose to do it if this was not going to be, you know, Animal Farm? It was going to be all these number one, adding some baby pig character instead of just letting it roll with the characters that originally were in it. I don't understand that. Why they had this. So this is like the character that the children have to see through the eyes of, which makes no sense to me. Because I was a kid and I understood, the story without them having to put a baby pig in it to be, the neophyte that whose eyes you see the story through. I don't get it.
And the evil, like the Glenn Close character, is playing like a Cruella Deville type character who's
Which I don't understand
into
because that's not,
development or
yeah,
something.
a-
It's really bad.
and it's not in the original story.
No, it's not had
And
nothing to do with
yeah,
had nothing to do with communism or socialism or any of those things, or Workers United, or you know, all animals are equals. Some animals are more equal than
more
it
equal
has
than
nothing.
others, right?
Right,
Yeah.
it had none of those lessons in it at all. It's like getting the Bible and ripping all the pages out and putting in like Treasure Island or something in the middle of it. It has nothing to do with anything related to the animal farm.
Hmm. That is so
It's
terrible.
right. It's just bad. It's really bad. And I can't believe the people that I mean, the thing is why when your question is why do the classics, I think a lot of people think that, I meant to read Animal Farms, or
Hmm.
maybe Animal Farms wasn't on my required reading list in school. So I'll just go watch the movie and I'll have a good
Hmm.
idea what it's about.
Right.
And good luck to you if you try to take a test or exam or have a discussion about Animal Farm and you're relying on this movie for your content or your background.
Hmm.
You'll be
Yeah.
off you'll be off the rails. It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
Which is
it's
which is why do these classics, right? Are you is Animal Farm in public domain? It is something that people know and they think is a highbrow
hmm
kind of venture, you know what I mean? But it's
yes.
not. It's just really like garbage.
Yes. Okay. Garbage. You say that's
It's
pretty
it's
much.
garbage. I mean, it's pretty much garbage. And
Yeah.
so I was watching a review of it on YouTube,
Uh huh.
and the person who reviewed it had just recently read the book, and they got it wrong too. They just got it wrong,
And
and I think
because they don't have the background, the knowledge, to have understood it.
right, right. You have to have that background. You have to have been born in a certain environment like the Cold War
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all that stuff, or at least go and do maybe check out the History Channel or something.
Right.
It requires a bit of homework, right? You can't be 25 years old and think that you're going to know what Animal Farm actually means.
Because
And
you weren't around during the Cold War when we were still dealing with this. When we were children, United States and Russia, we were dealing with that back then.
right. And then there are people who were true believers
Hmm.
in communism. Now
That's right.
the thing is, it's hard to find, at least in the media or in certain spaces, find true believers anymore.
Yeah. And if there are people who are quote unquote true believers, a lot of times they want to conflate those with individuals like Putin, who is really not, communist, qua communist, the way that we grew up learning.
No, there hasn't really been. We have this political debate, but there
Hmm.
haven't really been a truly communist society, right?
Yeah, not
Or
ever.
pure socialist society,
Yeah,
because
not ever.
that's in theory.
Hmm.
It has, these are theories, political theories, right?
Right.
And put in practice, they come out looking different. Even an Animal Farm is a good example of that.
Yeah, it's a try. How do you make this thing that's in theory in practice, and then what happened even as you did it? How can it survive?
Right. Can it
Because
survive through the translation or is it
yes,
lost in translation? Even
right.
even capitalism. People think
Hmm.
that this is a capitalist economy that we reside in. No, it's subsidized.
Yeah, there's no straight up capitalism, no straight up
No,
anything.
this doesn't exist,
Hmm.
because those are economic theories or political theories that are in books.
Yeah,
They're not applicable in real life.
and they're done in the extreme, as
Hmm.
a way to the if in the extreme, this is how it would work. You
Right.
know, this is what it would look like, and there's always a situation where nothing can exist in the
Right.
extreme like that.
Right.
It's impossible. I mean, because it always has to, as you were saying, something has to be in transition. You have to be moving
Right.
from one thing to another thing to get there. So I don't know if we would ever be able to have a
And
absolute
and
communist
Animal
society.
Farm is a perfect example of that, right?
Hmm.
Because what the animals do is that they rise up. I'm not doing any spoilers on this thing because
No.
it's old as hell. So they rise up, take over the farm, and
Hmm.
try to run things, and
The good times in the very beginning. So this is not like at
everyone's
the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's equal and everything,
Hmm.
and
And
you
that's the
know
goal. That is the goal.
yeah,
Like
everyone
actually, it's
right,
not the goal. It starts out that way. That's the
yeah,
rule. This is the
yeah,
new rules.
right. Everyone's equal. They're sharing everything. All
Hmm.
their work, the work is divided.
Yeah.
Each to their own. What is it? Each
Hmm.
their own.
From each according to his ability. No,
Yeah,
each according to no.
yeah,
From each according to his ability. Each according to his need is
mm,
communism.
right. And so that's
Hmm.
that's how it goes. And
They're
then
trying to move
because
to that.
because you have animals with personalities,
Hmm.
then some people like the perks of being in charge.
Yes, they love it more than money. They love it more than it just being in charge is the thing that some,
They like being in
some,
charge. They like
yeah,
power. They
yes,
have enforcers who make
yep,
sure that they stay in power.
right, right. And the thing is, because they know those who have moved into power positions that have done so much dirt to other people, they're afraid to ever step out of that power position
Right,
because they've done so much harm and so much wrong that their their lives are at risk. Once they step out of that position of power.
right. Then it becomes oppressive,
Hmm.
and then it becomes something worse than what it was before. Or
Right.
when you
It
have a
becomes totalitarian.
hierarchies,
Yeah.
hierarchies, and some people drinking champagne, and other people are drinking mud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what the Animal Farm is all about. I
Hmm.
think it's a study in personalities and political regimes and everything. And
Hmm.
and when I read the book and of course seeing the animated version as well, you start reading it and say, man, this is right. This seems perfect, right?
Hmm. Yeah, this sounds great.
What could possibly go
Yeah,
wrong?
how could possibly go
Well,
wrong?
and then you say to yourself, well, okay, well, it's a little wrong, okay,
Hmm.
but we can allow that little wrong
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
in order to keep the whole together. Okay, we'll compromise a little bit more.
Right, right. And
No,
then
you keep compromising, you
and
have
then
nothing.
then the issues that you compromise, then you realize now the power structure is such that you don't even have the right or the ability to compromise. They've taken that from you
Right,
completely.
exactly. So it's a lesson. It's a lesson to learn,
And
and,
it's a
and
lesson in cynicism. That's what it is.
I guess I'm a cynical person because I loved it, and
I know,
so
but that's what it is, a lesson in
yeah, I loved
cynicism.
it.
That
And the
despite
thing is, this
all
this
this,
this
yeah.
thing, this thing here, but with Seth Rogen and Andy
Hmm.
Circus in it,
Hmm.
is nowhere near any. It doesn't teach anybody any less. It's like an animated. It's like a Babe. It's like
Babe, yeah, right.
a bunch of fart jokes and stuff like that. And
Yeah, and I guess it tries to capitalize off of something like Babe. Where people, oh, look at this little baby pig doing something, and maybe people be attracted to it for that reason, but it's not telling you the story of Animal Farm,
no,
and
and the
and
story Animal Farm should really be told. Really, in this environment that we have, it should generally be told. And probably always told.
right, right. And another film that I marked for like the classics being kind of distorted is The Bride of Frankenstein, this new thing, Bride. To be it's like completely different. It only takes from it the character themselves, and it's just, I mean, talk about somebody who just loved to write to see their writing, being spoken on screen. I mean, I feel like there was no editor involved in that film. That
Well,
all
well,
the
you got to go
words,
back, don't you,
a
Penelope?
word wall. Yeah, go ahead, talk about the original.
Don't you got to go back because the Frankenstein is the original novel,
Hmm.
right? And then you have the Bride of Frankenstein, which nobody wrote that.
Right, but it's a classic film. So I'm saying it's
Right.
a classic film.
It's a
And of
classic
course, you've
film.
had The Bride with the one that's Sting in it, back when, I guess in the 80s or the
Yeah.
90s, the 80s.
Yeah.
But
Which
this
was
thing,
also I didn't see the entire movie. Have you?
yes,
Anyone
I
else
did.
have seen the entire
I've
movie?
seen it. Yeah.
And what is your take on that?
I think that in one sense, I like the fact that it, it deals with whether or not, like I said, the bride of Frankenstein as opposed to the bride of the monster, because the issue of whether or not there was an attraction between, Victor Frankenstein and the bride, which of course there's attraction, but he's also repelled, disgusted by her, was the fact that she is, a entity made with, the dead bodies and stuff.
Right. So what did you think of? I mean, in the original Bride of Frankenstein, James Wales, it's the Bride of Frankenstein. It's almost like a play on words because Doctor Frankenstein is also getting married in the movie,
That's right. That's right.
and so it's not lying to you. It is the Bride of
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
But I think that if
Uh,
I redid if I were to redo the Bride of Frankenstein, the film for me, like you said, the fact that Victor Frankenstein is getting married, then I certainly would have made like a juxtaposition between these two women as, again, the Prometheus, right? To make the perfect woman. And I would have on the one hand how he's physically making this woman out of the dead bodies or whatever else he does to make this woman, and the other how you have someone that comes to you with a certain personality, with proclivities, whatever, and how this man and society bend this other woman into being what it is that she's supposed to become to be the perfect wife. That's what
yeah.
I would have done with it.
Well, the original had the the man-made entity that's created
Hmm.
is done at the end of the film,
Right.
and so she doesn't last a long time. She has a
No.
very limited role. I
Yeah, and
mean,
well, a lot of it is focused on the relationships between these two different doctors. You say one says, "I did it, I'm doing it this way," the other doing it this way. We do collaboration, and now we know we can do this thing. And one
well, Dr.
issue,
Pretorius,
yeah, yeah. So
Dr.
yeah,
Pretorius is Dr. Pretorius in the Sting version of the Bride, or is it that they wipe all of that clear?
I think I do not remember a character like that at all in it. A secondary character who is assisting. There may have been, but I don't remember that person being in it. I mean, it didn't stand out at
I
all to
mean,
me.
basically, it was Sting. It was
Hmm.
advertised as Sting and Jennifer. What's her name?
Jennifer Beal,
Yeah, from Flashdance.
right?
Everybody, oh boy, it's gonna be a romance there.
Yeah, and I think that they're probably, if they'd done it correctly, they had a little bit of that sense of whether or not he thought it was appropriate as a woman to have her experience these things as a woman. And that was the thing I think was the big deal. They never crossed that bridge, you know.
So were they in? Was Sting and Jennifer Beal intimate in the film?
No, no, they never were. And that's what I think a lot of people thought was, kind of, it was a teaser, but it never really happened. But it was done correctly the way that they did it. I think they should have. And I mean,
Hmm.
or it should have gotten a lot closer than what it was in the film.
I mean, because no one in the original film wanted Victor Frankenstein to to be intimate with Elsa Lancaster. You know,
No, no, they did not. But remember, when she gets off the table, who does she run to?
she was to Victor Frankenstein
Exactly, toward
toward
him.
Victor Frankenstein. Yeah.
Exactly. So she is, and holding on to him, grabbing onto him, cleaving onto him, as they say, and rejecting the monster, the entity for whom she was made.
Well, it's kind of a takeoff on the original Frankenstein because in the
Hmm.
original Frankenstein, didn't the monster want Dr. Frankenstein to create more of him?
Yes, yes, he did.
He didn't necessarily say I want a spouse.
No, just more
He
people,
did
more like me,
more people
my
like
own, more
him.
of my own, more of my
Right.
own.
Right. Right.
And yeah, so I guess in a
It's kind
sense,
of a kind of twist on that kind of part of the
yes.
Frankenstein story.
And I mean, for those, if you have not seen that Sting version, I think it's very interesting because the monster does exist in this story. On the periphery, of course, he asks for this. He makes this, monster. But of course, just like the Elsa Lanchester bride in The Bride of Frankenstein, that she is so much more than the monster is. And the Bride of Frankenstein, the James Whale's version, of course, he's insistent, upon getting this bride. Where in the Sting version, the the monster, quote unquote, he kind of backs away from her.
Who plays the monster in that Sting version?
I do not know. In fact, I'm trying to look for it as we speak.
I
Um,
never seen it. I had no interest in seeing it because I just being a snob and all.
I
I
know.
thought the James Whale version was
Being
was
the
a
snob that
yeah
you are, yes.
yeah the James Wales version was the version.
Yeah. In fact, I think it's probably easier for me to find it looking up Sting
Yeah, I'll have to
to.
see who played the monster. But
Yeah.
the most recent one with Maggie Gyllenhaal in it,
Oh my
or
lord.
directed it. She directed it, I
Oh
think.
no, that thing is. Oh wow.
That
I
is
mean,
wow.
yeah,
That's like
that's.
the entire film was improvised, and people just got their script pages that day.
Yeah, and just said what they said. You know what? Just go with it. Here's
And
your
then what film is this
character.
again? What are we doing again?
Yeah, exactly. What film is this again that we're doing?
Yeah, that crap was crappy.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
all
god, it had to
over
be
the
like
place.
one of the worst films I've ever. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it is unwatchable. I mean, and I have to say, the prose is just, oh, it's just overwhelming the amount of like word sound, not word salad, it's like a word wall coming at you.
It's horrible. It
Yeah,
is
it just
horrible. And
really
and
is
and the
bad.
thing,
I mean,
it's trying to be artsy,
yes,
right? Like it's
yes,
done by art students or
yes,
something.
yeah, yeah, but
It's
it
like
misses the mark.
done the worst art school in the country and push them down a flight of stairs when they're high on alcohol and and weed and tell
Yeah,
them to improvise.
yeah, do your
Yeah,
thing.
it's pretty bad. It's not
Yes,
recommended. I don't know what it
yeah,
got on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic, but it's pretty bad.
mm-hmm,
And
yes.
and so the the
Ah,
characters are unrecognizable.
okay, and I've looked here, and Clancy Brown plays the monster.
Clancy Brown, Mr.
Hmm.
Krabs.
Yep. Well, they play him.
Okay, boy, he was in a lot of stuff.
Yes, and I guess the things they have, like the what's his face, the Frank and Sting as the doctor, kind of just backs away from the engagement with her, but the person who is like the person engaged with is Carrie Elways as Joseph,
Oh,
is
now
the
why is he
is
in the
the
film?
lover. He, I guess, becomes the lover of this woman.
So there's no Dr. Pretorius.
No, 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 Doctor Potato Head, and
Okay. Well, that didn't need to be made.
no.
And neither did this one that just recently came out. Neither did that need to be made.
Hmm.
And we talk about casting and everything. I mean, Sting was a hot commodity back then.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So everybody wanted to see him in a fancy shirt and tails and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, I guess.
with his hair all wild, playing a Universal
Hmm.
Universal Pictures, mad scientist. It was cool, but
I just think that he is a really good singer, and a lot of singers cannot act.
yeah,
The,
I
the
don't know whether he can
writers
act
say
or
they
not
cannot.
because I wasn't. Yeah, I
No,
wasn't.
because
Yeah,
well, I mean, in this
well,
like
you said you can't. You can't. You saw the films and you say you can't act.
yeah, and like remember this, and then that other Dune they did, the
Oh
first
yeah.
one. Yeah, I mean, I think that is not his bailiwick. I mean, you can. Well, let's put it this way: some people cannot act at all. He is somebody he's a bad actor. Some people cannot act at all, but he's just a bad actor. That's not his
Okay.
bailiwick.
He can act. He does it badly.
Right. He's not very good at it.
Well, maybe he's just been in bad films.
Well,
Because
I mean, well, it's like Madonna, great singer, performer on stage, but she cannot act.
right.
And I would say, for her, I would say even it's not that she's a bad actress; she cannot act.
Well, I would say this about Madonna as an actress:
Hmm.
she tries to do too much.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I think she's over, and I think she feels so much pressure, to have to do it well, that like she did Desperately Seeking Susan, where she played a supporting character, which is fine, you
Was
know.
too much. It was too much.
But
It's supposed to be supporting,
no, no, that's
but she
no.
was.
She was fine in Desperately Seeking Susan. It's that other film she was in that was so bad, which she was in with Griffin Dunn. Oh my God, that was so awful.
I thought she was bad, and I thought she did too much in all her films. And I thought that the other film, she was very way in over her head.
Hmm.
Try to heavy lift a Lena Wertmiller film. It's like
Yeah, she can. She wasn't there at that point.
swept away. She tried to redo that film.
Well, I mean, because her spouse,
And
saw
her
her in it.
husband,
Yeah,
Guy Ritchie, thought that
yeah, that
it
she
would
could
be a
do it.
good project for her, but he would
Well,
have been better off putting her in an action film or something.
Hmm.
well, remember she was always also in Dick Tracy.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Oh my,
That's
that
the
was so
epitome. Oh my
bad.
God. That set
It's
my
like,
eyes on fire.
wow. It's like, but
And that was
who?
Warren Beatty and all that because Warren Beatty, she was trying to
Yeah.
have a relationship with him, and
Yeah, that was just not good. Not good at all. I don't
yeah.
understand what they were thinking.
Well, they were trying to go think about money. That's what they were thinking about. One of those. It's like, hey, but let's do a Dick Tracy film. That's something no one has done.
Hmm.
Because everyone was looking for these franchise films. Remember, Batman was out at that during
Yes.
that time,
Yes.
and
But the
then
thing
Alec
is,
Baldwin tried to do The Shadow, and
yeah, but the thing is, like with Dick Tracy, people got to understand that if you, I mean, even when we were children, Dick Tracy was already old.
yeah, it was
You
old as
know,
hell. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and they're trying to repackage it and sell it to us as kids, and it was not working. So I don't
Well,
know
he
why
did.
they
He
thought.
he did have an Apple Watch,
Yes, that's true. He did have an Apple Watch, and
so
for
he
that
was before his time.
we can thank Dick Tracy for our Apple Watches.
Yeah, he was before his time.
Hmm. But I got to tell you that I mean, I watched it as a kid. I did not particularly like it. It just was one of those things as children. It's moving illustrations and it's on the television. So I guess I'll watch it, right?
Well, it's also your Sunday paper was wrapped in it too.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the I guess it was there in the comic strips. I never read it. I would watch just the cartoon version.
Yeah, well, we read it. It was hard to avoid in New York because the New York Daily News.
Yeah, you know
Sonia
what?
may remember this. The New York Daily News wrapped. It was wrapped in the funnies, and so
Yep.
you
Yeah.
have these things like Dondi
Dondi
and
and Brenda
Blondie and
Starr
Dick
and the
Tracy
Phantom and
and Little Abner.
yeah, we had all of that. Yeah, and Little Abner, come on, man. Because I mean, even that's another thing that they're forcing you to watch it. You're a child and have no desire to watch anybody from a place called Dog Patch. No, thank you.
I didn't know what was going on, but I watched it and I read
Yep,
it. Beetle
read it.
Bailey.
Yeah, yes. And Beetle Bailey, of
Um,
course, back then with us, still we were coming up, coming out of the Vietnam War because it was ongoing when we were kids. That of course,
mhm,
Beetle Bailey was something that was timely. People
yeah,
talking about
military
military
stuff.
stuff.
Beetle
Right, right.
Bailey, Brenda Starr,
Mm-hmm.
all those. So
Exactly.
Dick Tracy was one of those comic strips
Yeah,
that was
but
unavoidable.
yes, unavoidable. But they really, I guess, had a contract with somebody, and they had to keep it until it was done. But that was not delicious. I just got to
It
tell
was
you, it was
back when
not
everybody,
delicious.
we've always been on a nostalgia kick. So why not do the comic books, the comic strips we grew up with?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
since
mean,
we weren't in
what you do
They
charge,
is
did
wait.
Blondie back when the 50s.
Yeah, because I
Hmm.
guess you wait for the kids who read that stuff to grow up, and then you say, oh, it's a built-in audience.
Hmm. Exactly. Well, the built-in audience is those people who are like our parents, maybe, like Dagwood and Blondie.
Yeah, yeah. But it was Blondie was a cartoon in the '70s too, so we saw that as kids.
Yeah, but again, when it came on, I'm like, "What the heck is this?" And my mom was the one who said,
You
"Oh
didn't
yeah,
know what it was?
yeah, Dagwood and Blondie used to be a thing." I mean, I'd
You didn't know
seen
what it
like
was?
I knew what it was because my mother saying what it was, but we didn't have Dagwood and Blondie. I guess we had the comic strips and stuff, but I it's like, yeah, what is this? I don't, what are these people all about? And I don't know anything about these
Yeah,
people.
so yeah, it was wrapped in a comic strip, and also
Hmm.
you had the delis that would make a Dagwood.
Yes, the Dagwood sandwich. That again, a thing my mother told me about. That there was a sandwich
Yeah,
called the Dagwood sandwich, and it's supposed to be like this big
yeah,
giant sandwich that he makes. Which it's like, okay,
with
that's
a bunch
nice.
of
It's a
inedible things in it. Like
yeah,
just like stuff you would never put in a sandwich.
that you're gonna
I
feed the
mean,
people you
I
love.
mean, it wasn't like you would put like a shoe or something in it. It's like a combination of stuff that you wouldn't put together. Like
You do not think those
it,
flavors would work.
yeah, it wouldn't necessarily mesh.
Right, right.
But
Well,
I think that
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the kind of a thing where if you've got 4 panels during the week and 10 panels on Sunday, you can make
Mm-hmm.
an interesting little slice of life. But other than that, there's nothing else going on in their day. So that's why you can't sustain these things because
Mm-hmm.
other than those 20 panels a week, you don't really know what kind of life these characters have.
Right.
Well,
See.
in Dick Tracy, what happened is in at least in the New York papers during the week, Dick Tracy was black and white, and then on Sundays everything was in color, including Dick Tracy. So
Yeah,
I
I
guess they thought
don't
they
think
were
we
built
had.
in.
Uh-huh. I don't think we had black
I
and
think they
white.
have built in. You don't have black and white
Mm-mm.
comics in your newspaper.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so. I mean, we had some, but not Dick Tracy.
well, the
In
thing
fact,
about the Dick Tracy movie, it was Warren Beatty's passion project, and
mm-hmm.
a lot of technical things, like for example, and this is the kind of thing, and why you have just the people in the genres do uh, voting on things was because those comics could only be done in 8 colors. He limited all of the color work in the movie to just those 8 colors and did everything else with shadows and lighting. So that's the kind of thing where if you're a cinematographer or you would immediately notice that. But for most of us watching it, you don't pay any attention to it. Um, and
I mean,
then
I realized that they were using the very comic booky bright, comic page
yeah,
bright colors in it.
Yeah, I mean, look just like the Sunday
Yeah,
comics to
yeah,
us.
yeah, that was the idea. And then, of course, there was always the makeup stuff they did because he had next, I guess, Batman, the most
hmm
uh, varied villains gallery and
right.
everything. And so, yeah, so they did that. But again, it's the kind of thing that does not work for a 90-minute film exactly.
hmm
No, because you didn't they didn't even put in time to do the origin stories of these villains. You got Flat Top and Poon Face and all these
hmm
and the character that Madonna played. I forgot her name. I forgot her
Something
name.
Mahoney. Frick, was it something Mahoney?
Yeah, you don't have any background for these people. It's like okay, it's like throwing it in the middle of the Batman movie that
Without telling you anything about anyone.
yeah putting like what's his name Harvey Dent in the middle of that
hmm
film, right?
Yes.
The one that had the bad one with the nipples on the
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
yeah. So
Okay.
that one and putting Harvey Dent in the middle, but don't really have any origin or background like you did with
Right.
the Joker or the Penguin or Catwoman in the previous films.
hmm
Well, it was
Yeah.
supposed to be when they had Billy D. Williams playing
Harvey
Harvey
Dent.
in the second one. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm kind of irritated that they didn't bring him back for that, or if they did come back with another black male for the
Oh, okay.
role of Harvey Dent.
I don't know. Later on, whenever you get a minute.
Yeah, they took Harvey Billy D didn't make it to the second film.
Yeah, yeah, he was gone. Or any other black male, that could have
Yeah,
kind of
actually,
fit that
Harvey Dent
role.
wasn't even in the second film.
Yeah, but he was in the third one, right?
Yeah, it was a yeah. I
That
Third
was
or
think yeah,
fourth?
it was what's his name from what's the guy's name? You know the guy.
Tommy.
What's
What's
the
the name?
guy?
The
Tommy
guy.
Lee Jones.
Yeah, Tommy Lee
Yeah, that
Jones. Yeah,
guy. Yeah, there we go.
yeah,
That guy.
that
Yes.
guy. He
And
was
he didn't
Harvey
have many
Dent.
lines, and his lines were not good. And
No,
they
he had a
didn't
good he
show.
had a bunch of lines. He was
But they were, but
horrible
no,
though.
but I mean, when they showed him turning into Two Face, it's just like one scene. They don't show him really before.
They
There's
didn't
no
have
build
time.
up. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
they
didn't
should
have
not have
any
put.
time.
He should not have been put in the film. He needed to
Right.
have more time to show who he was before.
Right.
and then who he became afterwards. Because in other words, we don't know whether he was always that way.
Well, you know what though, Penelope. To be honest,
Hmm.
years later, I only found out that those movies were supposed to be a reflection of the '60s television show.
I found out years later too because I
I
did
did
not know
not
at the
know that
time.
at the time I was watching them. If I had
Yeah, I
known
just
that, I
thought it.
would not.
I
You
would.
know
I
what? I would
probably
have
would not
taken
have
my
been.
kids. I would have taken our kids to see them because they, they would,
Yes, because they
wanted to
wanted to
see
see
it.
it to their
But I
children.
think I would have been out in the lobby eating popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, or I would not have been as critical
Anticipatory,
or critical
anticipatory, right? A critical, right?
because I was very critical of it because I felt like this is really bad. But I
Because
didn't know he was trying
I thought they
to
took it.
have.
I thought they took it seriously. You
No,
talk
but
about
yeah,
you talk about a classic, right? So
yeah,
you got Tim Burton's versions. He taking the comic book. He taking it seriously, right?
right, right.
And he's doing serious stuff with the two Batman films, Batman and Batman
Hmm.
Returns.
Right.
And then you got this other guy, but apparently nobody told him that we're taking this character seriously now,
Yes,
right?
and Gotham City is a place, and
Yeah. And
and it
so
has its
because
own.
he
Yeah,
came in with an entirely different kind
yeah.
of point of view.
And in fact, if I had known that this was supposed to be some sort of a takeoff on the Batman television show, when they drive up the side of the building at the very beginning, I would not have been so off put by it.
Yeah, it's like
Put off.
somebody
Yeah,
forgot. So I think somebody forgot to tell the audience.
yeah. Because if they told me, I would because I found it very off-putting. And if I had known that that's what they were doing, I said, "Oh, that thing they do when Batman and Robin are climbing up the side of the building,
Right,
and this is just doing it in a car." So I would not have been because I was like, "What the heck?"
right.
Well, it's what happened when that was the difference between the studio and the director that they thought that Tim Burton's take was too dark and too complicated, and they figured if we lighten it up, we'll get that elusive 18 to 34 audience we don't have. And so he got ousted. He and everything he had done pretty much got ousted from those two sequels.
Which is
And,
a shame because those are the ones that are the best.
Yeah,
well,
and the thing is, I was in that 18 to 34 demographic.
Yeah,
I hated it.
yeah, yeah. At the time those
Maybe
things
they're
came
looking for
out,
some other
yeah.
18 to 34 people,
Yeah, I
but
mean
not
when
me.
the original Batman that Tim Burton did, that was spot on. I
It
mean, it's just
was.
like the thing from my childhood, which
It
now
was.
they've updated for an
Yeah,
adult audience. So
and
I
it was what I expected, and the
absolutely,
second one blew me away.
yeah, that was like that one. He's feeling himself on that one. He said, "Okay, I got it now, so I'm gonna move on." Yeah, great job with that one.
And the kids liked it too.
Yeah,
And it had
well,
that it had that
the,
Prince soundtrack. It was good.
yeah,
well, that's the other thing that happens is that uh, some of the more successful movies were made by people who were fans of the material themselves, and they respected the other people who liked the materials. Other than that,
right.
ceramic Superman thing in the second Superman movie.
Hmm.
But a lot of these things are done by people who really don't understand the material.
Right.
You will hear somebody say later that I didn't know who such and such a character was, but
So then
something.
why did you take the job?
Yeah,
You
Well, you
know?
know what? It could be that they were of a certain age when they saw the '60s television
Mhm.
show. They were older than us, so
Mhm.
when they became of age or whatever age, then when they decided that's the Batman they remember.
Mm.
well, there has happened that interestingly enough, there's a one of the things that DC does, well, Marvel does it too, but they'll take their characters and put them in imaginary stories. So this is not canon, but this is still using the
Mhm.
canonical characters. And there's a whole series of Batman in the 60s, which they have him teaming up with other people and things, and they're all stories that are set in that 1960s universe.
Mhm.
So, but the thing is, we do this just to keep you entertained, but don't take it seriously. This is not canon.
Mhm.
You know,
Cannon
you guys,
fodder.
you remember the DC comics, especially in the mid 70s, right?
Mhm.
The comics they didn't take a whole lot of serious. I mean,
No, they did not.
it was basically it was trash.
Yeah, that's just so I'm throwing something out here on the page that I can get paid for. Just living off the fact that Superman was Superman, basically.
Yeah, they were trying to write. I think they were all
Mhm.
coked up or something. It was horrible. And
Well,
if you were an adult watching, reading that,
Of course,
then
you'd be like, "Why are kids reading this garbage?"
yeah,
well,
but then when you get a chance, you become a decision maker. Let's say in Hollywood,
Mhm.
you remember all that campy stuff.
Right.
well, what
Right.
happens is every generation you get a new group of writers and
Mhm.
artists, which is why there's so many changes in the characters. So at one point, Superman is the only survivor from Krypton.
Uh
Then
huh.
they bring in all the other people who survive. Then they
Yeah.
disappear. Then they come back.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and that's one of the things that happens. And the second thing is sometimes the writers will try to correct the mistakes the early writers made. The
Mhm.
early thing was, for example, at Marvel in the early 60s, everybody got their powers for something radioactive,
Mhm.
whether it was Spider Man, a radioactive spider, with the Hulk,
Or
it
Hulk.
was gamma
Yes.
radiation, it was Fantastic Four, cosmic radiation,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, a new generation comes along and says,
It
well, you know,
becomes something genetic,
yeah,
like the
don't work
mutants.
like that.
Yeah, the mutation because they're
Yeah,
mutant, and even they I think there's an episode of the X-Men where they state that Spider-Man, even though bitten by a radioactive spider, he is a mutant, which is
right.
why his body reacts the way that it does.
So,
Yeah, so I
And
mean,
he,
but DC was doing that silly stuff in the mid 70s. Marvel was taking its characters seriously,
hmm
and that's a dichotomy, and so when they made those, who was it? Schlesinger? Who was it?
for who,
The
which
director. What's the director's name?
Schumacher?
Schumacher.
hmm
The Schumacher movies were about the Adam West Batman,
hmm
and I think you forgot to tell his audience that because
Yeah,
they were pretty bad.
yeah. He
And
well,
no, we didn't get the
it
memo.
was it was that, and it was just done casting because they said, well, we're going to put in Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and you weren't coming to see a character, you were coming to see Arnold Schwarzenegger versus I think by that time Elvis George Clooney was Batman.
Yeah, and I think also that in
well,
those
who's the person before Clooney? It was somebody else. What was the guy's? What's the
Val
guy's
Kilmer,
name?
Val
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 Kilmer.
Kilmer
Kilmer.
was Batman. Yeah, but he had high heel boots or something on.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember anything about that. But
And Jim
I,
Carrey was the Riddler.
and
Yeah,
again, the problem with that is it's like I think he could have played that role, but he had to have a director with more restraint who would have just held,
Well, he played
reeled him in.
he played the role the way that Frank Gorshin would have played the role as the Riddler.
Possibly, possibly.
Because it understand they're coming from the '60s show. They're not coming
hmm
from the Tim Burton, as Cranston said, the so-called darker version of Batman, which prevails now,
hmm
right?
Yeah,
Which came out the winner of,
yeah.
of
That
all the
people the
silliness,
preference test, or to we prefer
right?
this one. Prefer.
Right.
well, originally they wanted Robin Williams to play the Riddler, but they couldn't work that out. So they said, well, who else can we get? And allegedly, uh, Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones did not get along well at all.
I
So,
can imagine that
Why do you say
so
that?
because I can imagine that Tommy Lee Jones being a very restrained actor, a very professional actor, but you're somebody who is like Jim Carrey, who's encouraged to be by the seat of his pants, kind of style. I think
And
they
he's
would,
very hot then too.
yeah, I don't think those things would not mesh well together. I think that somebody who's very disciplined would not have a good time working with someone like Carey when he was in his heyday and
He had a
people
lot of
are letting him
sway. I
get
mean,
away. Yeah.
the thing with Carrie is though that when he first started off, he had a lot of failures,
Mhm.
and then he went on in Living Color,
Mhm.
and then he was plucked off that show, and then he went he went into the Mask, and what's the other
Mhm.
one he did?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
And that just he just blew up after that. And
Yeah.
then you would think that someone like that would think about their failures and become more humble, but he was an out and out ass.
Yep. And people who are around him, I'm sure, you can't tell somebody who starts out like he did, kind of young in the business, and then they get hot, not really fast, but fast enough. You can't tell them anything. It's very
Yeah, I mean,
difficult.
basically, someone comes to you and said they want you for a job or to a role or something like that, and you say, "Well, how much is it paying?" And they say, "How much do you want?"
Yep. Then yeah, that's it for you, man. You
Yeah,
are your eyes are big and you're smelling yourself and all that. So I'm the one that
yeah. So
everybody.
you can imagine, like you said, someone like that throwing his weight around, like a Tommy Lee
Hmm.
Jones, who is
Yeah, very
who comes off
serious
as a consummate professional
and a very
actor.
serious actor. Who probably was not impressed by that type of behavior.
But
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 even
the
though
casting,
Carrie probably thought that
I thought it was going to be.
this was the role, this is the role. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the casting. I thought the casting was going to be like on point with the previous Batman film. So I was happy
Yes,
to see Schwarzenegger as Doctor and Mister Freeze.
I thought it
I
was
thought
terrible. I thought it was
it came
terrible.
out terrible, but I thought it was going to be good.
Mm. No, I mean I don't think he's a very good
You thought it
actor.
was going to be terrible?
Oh yeah, I don't think he's a very good actor. I think that the Mr. Freeze character is nuanced. I don't think he has it in him.
well, the other thing was, of course, by this point, Arnold was pretty big, and they couldn't make him a pure villain like the Terminator. So they had to give him a backstory that I'm not really a bad person. I'm
Yeah, but
only
that's what that's the Mr. Freeze character. The Mr.
yeah.
Freeze character is precisely that. But I think he is not the actor to have done it. He just, or he could have gone, like, I don't know, somebody should have had a really a director that wasn't afraid to really work him to get him there, because he
They
doesn't
could
have a
have had. You
whole
know
lot of
what?
lines.
I thought it was going to be good, but he could have. You know who could have done that movie? He could have done that
Hmm.
show.
Cool.
That role. What's his name? Who was in Blade Runner?
Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, I thought he could have done that
Yeah, he
role.
could have. He would have been good as Mr. Freeze. He would have been a great Mr. Freeze.
He could have done the pathos.
Yes, absolutely. He get the nastiness, but also, as you said, the pathos of it. I think you're absolutely right. It definitely
Well,
would have been
but
a.
if you're doing a comedy version, then you got Otto
Hmm.
Preminger and other people doing the Mister Freeze role,
Hmm.
like on the Adam West version of Batman.
Hmm.
You got the guest star of the week,
Right.
whatever, Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar as Catwoman. Although I love Eartha Kitt, period.
Yeah.
But guest star of the week, Vincent Price as Egghead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cliff
Victor
Robinson as some made up
Buono.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Victor Buono is King Tut.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What the hell is
Well,
that?
well, the thing is that, ironically enough, and people say, "Are you serious?" But after the running the television show, they decided that Batman's credibility had been shot, and DC was actually thinking about terminating the comic after the
Wow.
60s. And it
Isn't that
was,
amazing?
yeah, and now 1/4 of all the DC titles are somebody in the Batman family.
Isn't that
But
amazing?
it wasn't until the guys that came back, Neil Adams doing the art, and
Hmm.
can't think of his name, who is kind of falling out of favor, but he was the one that turned it to
Oh
the
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot his name.
yeah more
Yeah,
realistic end, and that's
yeah.
what saved the character by revitalizing him then.
Hmm.
But that was just how much things that go in one genre don't carry over to the other. So they had
Right, right.
like aliens and
Penelope,
you know,
What's the name of the
What?
guy who
Which
did Sin City?
is it? Not
Frank
Neil Gaiman? No. Oh,
Frank
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller. That's who. That's who. That's what you're talking about, right, Cranston?
right, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you have, but the casting, if you're thinking that they're going to do the Adam West show
Uh huh.
on film, the casting is apt, right?
Right, right, right. But the casting is correct or apt. Then the directing should have been something different.
Well, you know they
Why?
actually did.
Because I think that it does not have enough of the cleverness to it that it
Well,
should have.
they actually did a Batman movie with the TV cast in between seasons.
I
And
I saw
remember.
that. I remember that,
yeah,
and it was exactly what I expected it to be. Because I didn't expect anything other than
Yeah.
a very long Batman episode, really, with Adam West and Burt Ward and
Hmm.
Julie Newmar and
Yeah,
whoever it
but I
was.
just
Yeah.
coming on the heels of Tim Burton's Batman. If you're gonna do something the way that it was done with Schumacher, it needed to be more clever. It,
Well,
it was not. It was not clever
Schumacher
enough.
Schumacher did some good movies. I mean, remember a
I
single
mean,
white
no, I
woman,
mean, I'm just
single
saying.
white female,
I'm
single white
saying.
woman, single white female.
I say in that Batman and his
Oh yeah,
director
yeah, yeah,
when for
yeah.
Batman coming on the heels of the more serious Tim Burton, it needed to be a lot more clever, and that means the actors had to do a whole lot more heavy lifting.
Well, like Francis said, obviously the studios wanted to go in that direction.
And I know, but
It wasn't
even so,
Schumacher's idea to do it to
yeah,
direct it
I'm
that
just
way.
saying, even if they did want it to go as dark as Tim Burton, they certainly had to be a lot more clever than what it was they came up with.
well, they had bat ice skates. They would put their
Yeah,
shoes together and they would skate. They had Batman carrying the Gotham Express card or whatever to
yeah.
make purchases
I didn't say I said clever, not campy. Clever.
and so on and so forth. And
That
they
was so
thought,
stupid.
I mean, that's what I said. They needed to be clever, not campy, and
yeah,
they were very campy.
But that was
And
the Adam West show, wasn't it?
but
Campy.
I'm saying though, it was too big a swing coming behind the darker Tim Burton. There was just too much space between it, and it just didn't make sense as you walk in and expect to see a Tim Burton esque Batman, and instead you get what the heck is this?
Yeah, I was just satisfied for the moment I sat down and the film opened.
Exactly. I
I
said,
was just
what is
satisfied
this?
from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, what is this?
I
This
don't
is
even
not
know. Do you
good.
remember? Do you remember whether our kids liked it?
No, I do not.
It become like the movies of the names of which we do not speak.
Yes. Yeah.
well, it was something to get you to buy T-shirts, and that
Hmm.
was all they wanted to do. And what happened that those two movies, the Shoemaker movies, it pretty much killed the Batman franchise until the animated series came on.
Wow, which
That,
was that was
Yeah, and that's which is
wow.
interesting. I don't
That
know
is
how much
real.
background you know about that,
Hmm.
but they did an animated series,
Hmm.
right? And so in doing animated series, they chose the Tim Burton version
Hmm. A
to
darker
yeah,
okay,
they didn't choose the Schumacher version.
aesthetic. No, they really
Yeah.
went with that darker,
Yeah.
dark aesthetic. It was excellent.
But wait a minute though. Did the Schumacher version come out after the animated series or before
So
the animated
before
series? Okay.
before the animated series, and Schumacher has even apologized for those two movies.
As well, he should.
He stole my money.
Mm-hmm. I said, "Can I have my money back, please?
Yeah.
Money,
And my
please."
time.
Yes, I can. All those breaths that I had to take sitting in there
Yeah. I
at
want to go
theater.
back. I want to go back to my 18 between 18 and 34 demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do that?
Yeah, get my the breaths I took for that
Yeah.
back.
you
Can we
stole
have our breaths back?
stole my kids' allowances.
That's right. Yeah, they bought popcorn in that place.
Right.
They
And
didn't have to do
whatever
that.
else all crazy ass meals they have us
Hmm.
serving in the movie theater.
Yeah, but
Like
I think
a big
again, I mean,
ass a
but
big ass
even
icy.
right, but even with this stuff, we talk about it that there are things like these television shows
Hmm.
that we have identified and other films identified as
They're
classics.
classics, yeah.
And yeah, and then people think they can waltz in and do whatever the heck they want to do with it, and it makes it horrible. I said when you have someone that's already set the table, you can't decide. When we
Well,
have.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
Mhm.
What is the classic now? Is the Adam West a television show the classic, or is the animated series the classic, or is it the Tim Burton movies that are the classic? And if you think the Tim Burton and the animated series are the classics, what do people think of the Adam West series when they show it? They show it on like Me TV, the repeats. What do they think of the Adam West series?
I'm sure when they see the Adam West series, as I would if I had seen the Tim Burton version beforehand, I would say, "What is this trash?"
Well, no,
I mean,
the
I would. I would say,
the
"What is this trash?" I would say, "I
was
I,
the,
I can't stand this."
the reevaluation is that the television series was a spoof, and it's just that the audience either got it, or if you're a purist, you didn't. But they said it was so out of the way and so crazy and so expensive because of all of those crazy sets they had to build
Mhm.
every week and everything that it kind of stands alone. And then
Mhm.
you get the little in jokes like Batman and Robin walking up the side of the building,
Mhm.
and then somebody was stick
Yeah,
their head
Sammy Davis Jr. come out of the window or something.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
something like that. Um, they had the things about the dead seriousness that that Adam West and Burt Ward had as Batman and Robin,
Mhm. Mhm.
things like that. And of course, all the little things you didn't know and that you didn't notice when your television set was the same size as your laptop screen is
Yeah. Yeah. True. Too.
that Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache, and you couldn't tell that on a 12-inch screen. But if you're watching him on your 65-inch or LED television, you can say
Mhm.
they just plastered
But
over that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks crazy. And also with Cesar Romero, as a Joker when they get into a fight, you know damn well that stunt man is not Cesar Romero.
Yeah,
It's so bad. And the same thing with Burgess Meredith. That's
Yeah.
not
No. He said, "Nah, man. No."
that's not them at
He
all.
said, he said, "Nah, man. I'm a trained, serious
It's
actor.
hard.
I'm
It's
not be
hard to
out
get
here rough and tumble with a bunch of stuntmen. Thanks, but no
right.
thanks."
It's hard to tell, because the body types of Burgess Meredith and Cesar Romero are so so distinctive, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
We see them so often. We've seen them so
Yes.
often. It's hard to get a stunt double to come out and do it. But you get somebody like a Frank Gorshin, it's easy enough to,
Yeah. Yeah.
get
Yeah.
somebody skinny like that to roll around,
Mhm.
you know.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you never,
Plus, he wears a
although
mask.
you,
You know.
right, but although you have the Adam West version of Batman and all the Schumacher versions of Batman, I don't think they've ever had a version like that of Superman, right?
A campy version of Superman.
Yeah.
The campiest they get is the original Reeves version.
That was campy.
I mean, I said the campiest they get. It's like with the second lowest lane. That is less, serious as it was in the first lowest lane. I thought it was much, more uh just a dramatic show. When they
Right,
put the second lowest lane, I did not think it had the gravitas of the first
right,
shows.
right.
So I mean,
I
but I'm
agree.
not saying it's campy, but I'm saying that is the campiest I've seen Superman be.
Right, especially in his later, when it was about to be gone off the air. I guess
Mhm.
later episodes, it's
Uh-huh.
really bad. It's really bad. Then it's really like, I mean, they must have run out of scripts or something, to write.
Yep.
'Cause
Well,
it was horrible.
it's what happens after 3 or 4 years when the contracts begin to expire, that they begin to cut back on the
Mhm.
salaries and sets and the plots and everything.
Mhm.
And you're just coming in. In fact, they said toward the end that George Reeves would just come in, read the lines before shooting, go shoot it, and then go back to his trailer.
Well, you know what? What does that remind me of that Ted Lang was saying about when he was directing what is it, the show? Was $6 Million Man, or the other show that what's his face did? There's a stunt man thing. But Ted Lang
Oh
directed
yeah,
the
he was
show.
directing. Yeah, Lee
And
Majors
yeah,
met.
Eddie
They
Majors.
met in
Hmm.
some bar or something. Yeah, and he said Ted, I want you. You can come and direct my show. The what was it called? The stuntman. The
Yeah,
what
the
was
Fall Guy was the
the
Fall
Fall
Guy.
Guy? Yeah, Fall Guy
Yeah,
Fall
the Fall Guy.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And so he
and
came in to do the his directing, and he was like, "Okay, we gotta do this, and we gotta, do this over again and stuff." And it's a lot of people who are there and who knew him were like, "Man, what is the relationship between you guys?" Because he usually would not take this from anybody else. And they said finally he did a scene, and Lee Majors had to stop him. He said, "Okay, you are going for the envelope. I'm going for the parking lot." So basically saying, look, I'm not trying to get no awards. You're going for the envelope. I'm not trying to get any awards. I'm going to do this thing in one take and then get in my car and go home. And so he said, oh, and then he understood and he directed differently.
I said, "Damn, Lee, wow,
Yeah, he just
you
threw
don't
it
give a
right at him.
damn."
No, he said, you're going for the envelope. I'm going for the parking lot. Get this thing done in one take and I go home. So I think it was kind of funny, when you get people at that point in their careers. And he's a seasoned actor. He knows what he's doing. But he's not trying to make it perfect. He's just trying to make it good enough and get moving because the less time it takes for him to do it, the more money technically it is that he has made.
Right, it's the Fall Guy. It's not
Hmm.
Hamlet.
Right. Right.
Right. And so, Ted Lang is trying to make it Hamlet because, you know,
He's a director and he wants
he's a
everything he
director.
does to
Right.
be perfect.
Right. Right. That's funny. And it also, that kind of dialogue, that kind of story like that tells you behind the scenes kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, some shows you don't have to, you know, I guess put everything in it, or maybe you do. I don't know. But it's like
You have to
when you talk
understand what
about the third, fourth, or fifth season of the Fall Guy, it's like,
we know what we're doing, right? We've done this
yeah.
several times. Let's go ahead and
And
tell the story.
a lot of people, don't you think they stopped watching after that?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who were the original watchers, viewers of the $6 Million Man or something, by the
Mm-hmm.
later season. They're not. I know I wasn't watching the six
Because
million
they're
dollar man
saying like
after a
I've
while.
seen this already.
Yeah, I'm not watching it
All
no
these
more.
the same thing they're doing now. You did this in season two.
And now they got
So
the bionic dog, and they got the bionic woman, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm checked out. I checked out 3 seasons ago, right? I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. That people get to the point where they're like, okay, I've had enough of that. And
Right,
new people may come in, but the old guard has kind of moved on.
right, right. And Lee Major's been in it for a while, so.
Yeah, so he
But
said, I'm ready to get my money and be able to move on. I'm not here to
but
try to prove anything to anybody.
but Penelope, going back to casting, like the Batman movie, the
Mm-hmm.
Schumacher Batman movie, the
Sure.
cat. I thought the casting. Go ahead.
Yeah. So immediately said, "This is successful. Let's do a sequel." And they asked Gene Hackman to come back. So he said, "Well, these guys know that my character got killed in the first one."
You're
And they said,
breaking
"Well,
up.
picture
Wait, you're
this:
breaking up. Okay, and okay,
chips upside."
which
I heard
side can
Gene.
you hear
I
you?
heard Gene
Okay, they
Hackman. I
said,
heard sequel.
"Well, picture this: chips upside down, your close up on the pole,
I heard Gene Hackman. And I
over,
heard sequel.
and we see this cut out, and it's such all the way, and you stick your head in open and say,
I can't hear it.
okay,
Yeah, you're breaking up, Cranston.
I heard Gene Hackman, and I heard
they
sequel,
were
and that's
going to
it.
say, okay,
All right, I can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything.
He's gone. He'll have to come back. He was probably got a
Yeah,
bad
I heard
connection.
something about Gene Hackman. I heard sequel.
Right, right. But I don't know the sequel to what?
I don't
To
know.
French Connection,
Did
to
they do a French Connection?
Superman,
Did they do
to
a French Connection? Oh, maybe Superman.
yeah. I mean, or what's the other thing? The Long Walk.
They
What is it
did it.
called?
They did a sequel to the French Connection, though, right?
Mm-hmm. I think, or the
Yeah.
Poseidon Adventure. Yeah, you come back.
No, they didn't.
We
No.
want to
I
do
mean,
a
how many times
sequel.
could you know what? Is
Uh-huh.
that after the second ship sinks? It's like you're not allowed on that ship anymore. I don't want you
Yeah,
to.
you kind of don't get
You're
to.
not coming back on that ship.
Yeah, you just stay home. We'll put you on a
But
plane, and then the airplane films, the airport films were made. You
yeah,
know.
but yeah, the casting for the Schumacher movies, they were just haphazard, right? They were
Hmm.
haphazard. And when you go into casting, when you go into people complain about the Odyssey and the the movie that just came out, the
Yes,
Odyssey,
yes.
and the main person that they spoke about was Peter Longo,
Leongo is Helen of Troy.
which is in the actual book itself, the Odyssey, right?
Hmm.
I don't know about the other movies that you talked about, man,
Uh
because
huh.
apparently I missed the connection between the Odyssey and Ulysses. I
Hmm.
thought that I think I watched some of those movies and I said,
Hmm.
man, this looks a lot like Odysseus in the
Yeah,
Odyssey, but
and
apparently it
in
was, and I'm too stupid to recognize it.
uh,
But in the Odyssey in the book,
hmm.
um, um, Helena Troy is not she's not in there um, of any length of time that is significant, right? She's
Right,
not.
because Helen's involvement is like prequel. It has already
Yeah,
happened. What has
right,
happened has already happened. She's already
right.
been whisked off to
And
Troy.
people complain about her being Helena Troy. I think, and you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think they did it in order to try to be hurtful.
Yeah.
Some of the things like some people said, no one can think that this woman can be the most beautiful woman in the world. To which Alec Baldwin said, "She is the most beautiful woman in the world." I like, I
Hmm.
like, I like his comeback to
Yeah.
that. But the real casting issue was, to me, is Matt
Hmm.
Damon and
I
and
mean, he
Tom
does not.
Holland and
He does not. I mean, I'm just saying, Matt
and
Damon
Anne
in my mind.
Hathaway.
Yeah, I just think that in my mind, Matt Damon does not look like I would expect Odysseus to look. Just to figure
Absolutely not.
how
Oh,
I think he would. I got to say this, and I mean, the Ulysses with Kirk Douglas. The Kirk Douglas looks more like what I would have expected a Odysseus to look like.
or maybe Rufus Sewell or something.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
But
I
not
mean,
not Matt Damon. Matt Damon is straight
no.
out of Boston.
Yeah, he just is not working for me in that role. And I think like when they did the role is that with Armand Desante, well that is fitting for Armand Desante to play
Yeah,
the role of Odysseus. I
right.
think I can see him in that role.
I can. I can. I can.
Yeah, I
I
just
mean, there's a bunch of actors that I can see in that role, but not Matt Damon. I certainly and Tom Holland and Matt Damon's son.
Tom Holland a little old, a little long in the tooth for that role.
And but Tom Holland, it looks like that he just came off the subway and saying, wait till my dad gets back.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's a little, again, I say long in the tooth for this role. He still always looks young to
He
me,
always looks young, but I don't
but
think it's not that he's not young, is that he's not fit for that role. I mean,
right,
and he's in that movie for a long time, and so is Matt Damon.
of course, of
And
course.
so and Anne Hathaway as Penelope.
I'm going to say this. I think that she is not the right person for that role. I think that number one, they should have picked someone who looked a lot more Mediterranean, Greek, something like that. She does not look the way that I would expect Penelope to look. She looked a little hard, a little hard. And
A little.
yeah, and so I think they should have picked someone who did not look quite so hard. I mean, I know they want to show that she has had a rough time of it, but she looks like, I would say the way she looks in this role is what I would think like the wicked stepmother in Cinderella would look like. That's the
Oh
only thing
yeah.
I could think of when I saw her. That's the vibe I got. That she looked like the wicked stepmother.
Right.
So
Right.
you would
And
have somebody like Gal Gadot to play that part?
I think she's a much closer selection for that role. I think she would be. The fact that you put the two of them together, you say, yeah, I think, yeah, she would be preferable
Who is
in
that?
that role. Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I think so. I think
I think
so.
she would be a much
Or
better.
somebody like Lupita Nyong'o. How
Yeah,
about
or
that?
Lupita
Well,
Nyong'o
the
to play
movie's supposed
Penelope.
to take 20, it spans 20 years. So in that case, Tom Holland is right because by the end of the movie, he's supposed to be in his late 20s, early 30s, and he's 30. The other two don't look like they aged a bit, except they put a longer beard on Matt Damon.
I get the
I think
impression,
that
Rick.
I think the son was Telemachus
Yeah,
should have been probably like say in his 20s because
I
he
got
was
that
He was a
impression.
baby.
that's right,
He
he's a
was supposed to
baby.
be a baby when Ulysses leaves.
Right.
Odysseus left. Yeah, I get the
Yeah, yeah.
impression from reading the book. Okay,
Hmm.
that he was either like a 19 or
Hmm.
early 20s. That's from reading it. I don't think
Yeah,
they
he
ever
should have been
said.
He's
Yeah,
supposed
in
to
his
be. He was
20s
supposed to be a young child when he leaves, and then by the time
yeah.
he gets old,
back.
he's old enough that he could take the throne. So it's in 20 years. It was 20 year span.
Yeah.
I do
He's
not
gone for
think.
20
Because
years.
everyone else came back after 10. The
Right.
Yeah,
Trojan War took 10 years.
right.
Everyone else came home after 10 and he
Right.
got knocked off course for another freaking 10 years.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
get the I don't get the impression from the original that it's that Tom Holland would look like that. I mean, Tom Holland would fit the role because he's number one, too long in the tooth, and also physically, I'm thinking something else. If he's fending off suitors and stuff, and you know what I mean. I'm thinking a different. I'm
He
Well,
thinking a
'cause
different.
his
tried to
mother's
fend off
doing all the fending off.
Yeah, she was doing the yeoman's work on that one because they were, really what you calling him? They were putting it on that boy. He was not
Yeah,
at
but
the
then he comes
age.
back. Then
Hmm.
he comes back with his dad, so to speak, his dad,
Hmm.
and they pretty much off everybody at the end anyway,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right.
I'm thinking more of a at some point he looks like a warrior, right?
Well, he's the Robin to his dad's Batman. That's basically what it is.
I know I just it doesn't look like Tom Holland. I was surprised that no one said anything about that, and the fact that Matt Damon once again looks like he came out of Boston.
I do
Um,
not. I have no idea why Matt
and
Damon is in the role of Odysseus. I
I
just
don't
don't
I don't
see
know
it
why
at
no one said
all.
anything about
And
that.
when
No
I
one has any
saw
problem with
him,
that.
yeah, and I saw him that when he saw the trailers, I was like, what were they thinking?
Yeah. I don't think he even reads the lines right. It doesn't even sound
I
right coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, he just does. I don't I can say I'm so busy seeing Matt Damon, trying to play the role that I can't see him in it.
Yeah. I think sometimes some actors are around too long in too many roles and you can't unsee them in the other roles.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe that's the problem, that I cannot unsee him in other roles. But you know what? I can see him in other roles that he's taken as disparate from previous roles.
But he
I can
hasn't
see him in
been.
the talented Mr. Ripley. I see him different
Yeah,
from
I
what he
can see
was
him
in
in
The
that.
Departed. I
Yeah.
was in their first film, with the math guy, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah,
What's the other one that they did that they switched up actors in, with the spy person? Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I can see all of this is different.
Yeah, I can see him
But
in Tom Clancy
yeah,
roles. Yeah, I
this,
can see him in that.
but I
I can
don't.
see him in that. But
But I.
all of those roles are like either northeast or east
Hmm.
kind of when you go around you can see somebody that looks like that.
Right,
You know,
right,
you used to people seeing people that look like that in those spaces, right?
right, right, right.
I don't expect to see someone that looks like Matt Damon
I don't expect
on
to
a
see
ship.
somebody that looks like oh, what's his name to play the last Batman? Pattinson.
Yeah,
And
Robert Pattinson.
I
Yeah,
don't expect to see him in it. I
right.
mean, when I see
But
him, I said, "What is
why would
this?"
they pick on all the people to pick and complain and bitch about? Why would they pick her, the
I have
Peter
no
Longo?
idea, because I'm seeing a lot of these people that I think they're way too many pale faces in that
Yeah,
film, and they look out of place ethnically. That they should
yeah.
not be in it.
Out of place ethnically, out of place physically,
Yeah,
out of place age wise,
yeah.
just out of place.
I mean, you have to
And
understand.
no one
If
complained about that. No one
No,
complained about that.
they did not, and I don't understand why. You know, complaints were made about one thing, but not the other.
They complained about that black woman like it was going out of style, right? It's like,
Hmm.
oh, she's not. Who would think that she's the most beautiful person, a beautiful woman in the world?
A lot of people.
It's like, what do you think the most beautiful person in that number one is a myth, is a mythology, right? It's
Yeah, it's not
mythological.
real.
And then number two is like, what do you think the most beautiful person in the world would look like in that area of the world?
Right,
What do you
right.
think they would look like? What is your mindset that would look like?
I mean, I think even like that, if they had gotten somebody like Gal Gadot to play that role, I would have said, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
You know, but I just don't see. Uh, I don't know who they expect to be, some blonde or something. Then that would be
Of
absolutely,
course, they wanted
Yeah,
sit,
traditionally she's blonde and blue-eyed, but people missed the Greek translation. The original Greek gods were all darker skinned. In fact, I can't remember the word in Greek, but it translates as the black ones, is what they were originally called. So every god, and Helen is supposed to be descendant from Zeus, I think it is.
hmm
So if Zeus is supposed to be the dark one, wouldn't his daughter be a little darker than?
And the things also, you think about
she
things that
took on
said
her
that
mother's traits.
they said her fair arm. What's it? The fair arms or
Yeah,
something like
fair
that.
arms, right?
But the thing is, though, that even if they say fair arms, what is that? That is a term that is what do you call that word? It's a comparative term.
Subjective.
Yeah, it's a
It's
what
subjective
fair
compared to
compared to what?
what? Yeah,
Yeah, compared to whom is that fair?
yeah, right, exactly.
And
And so,
Troy would be where Turkey is.
right,
So in the Greece, uh, Troy, Greece, Turkey, everywhere that's in that area. That.
yeah. And I think because you have Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway and
Hmm.
Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson in most of the film, to me, they seem to be more of a distraction to me than
Hmm.
because I'm thinking about a lot of things when I'm looking at them in this movie.
Hmm.
They said the movie is beautiful. It's shot in IMAX. They said you have to see it in IMAX. Um, I think Elliot Page is in there. People complain about that. First, they said Elliot Page was playing Achilles. and then
Yeah.
No,
someone
just
said that's not right. That's
sinus,
incorrect.
I think.
Okay.
Sinus, I think is what the role is.
No, she's playing. I think she's playing Achilles. Peas. Sorry.
I
Hold on.
I thought this was
I
sinus
think I think
for the
someone said
sinus.
that was
Yeah, I think
incorrect.
sinus they're playing.
Not playing Achilles, and then they have reference to the Trojan horse in the Odyssey. That's not in the Odyssey,
Well, I mean, it's actually in the Aeneid
right?
is what
But
you do, but the
right, it's not in. So Helen of Troy is more prominent in the Iliad, right? So,
but she is in the Odyssey on
but
his way
she's more
home
prominent in the Iliad,
in
correct?
the discussion of them in the Iliad because remember the beginning of the Iliad, the Trojan War has already been in swing for 9 years, so she is already there, you know, and so that's a
So what I'm saying is that this Odyssey, just like
mhm,
Animal Farm, is like
mhm,
is something other than the actual epic poem, right? So
right,
if you think that you're skipping steps and
mhm,
you know you could discuss in detail the epic poem, you're going to be
mhm,
it's not that, it's an adaptation, right? So it basically is like it's including the Iliad, the Odyssey, and the Aeneid
mhm,
together,
right,
aspects of all
right.
three.
Possibly, because I think you have to have certain portions of the Iliad in order to understand why they were there in the first place. You know, why they were there, why the Trojan War was being fought. I'm sure they'll have some of that, woven in. And I look forward to seeing it because you say it's supposed to be a very beautiful film, so I
That's what
look
people are
forward to
saying.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they could be
But I
wrong,
think,
and I'll be
but I think
mad.
the casting for me is will be a distraction,
Hmm.
a bit of a distraction. I don't know how much of a distraction it is, but even watching the trailers, seeing
Hmm.
Matt Damon is a big distraction
I
for
know. I'm
me.
like, what? I mean, when I first saw him on the screen, I was like, what? I mean, it was
Yeah,
like, no, no. I just physically
they would been
mhm,
better off having Ben Affleck.
agreed. I'm just sad, but true. Ben Affleck would have made a better Odysseus than Matt Damon
I was just looking at the listing for the casting, and Lupita is so far down on the list.
because she shows up only at the
Yeah,
end.
that's what I mean. She's not even showing up
Yeah,
as
so
much,
why
but
would
they're
you?
complaining. The
Why did they
Cyclops
complain?
has a bigger part than she does
Why do you think they complain about her so much?
because
because they can.
she gets to be Helen, and they didn't want that.
And you watch the trailer. She's in the trailer for like 1 second, not maybe even one full second.
Hmm.
And so people watch the trailer and say, "Who's that black woman?"
I
Oh, she's
guess.
Helena Troy. Right?
I
She shouldn't
mean,
be
I'm
there.
sure before they even saw a trailer, they just saw somebody told them about the list like they do, and they said, "Oh, this was in it. Complain about it." You know.
Well, it's like when they discovered that Rue was really black in the Hunger Games.
I mean, they lost their minds because Rue, okay, but she is black in the story. What the heck were you reading?
Well, but they say now is that that's she could be a white person because it's just a fictional character.
And so you're a black person because she's just a fictional character, right?
Yeah, but it's our
Mm.
fiction. You're trying to, you know, they come up with these
Yeah,
weird
really strange.
rationales.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, but the thing is, as we talk about this, I mean, and we got a little bit off topic a little bit, but was it necessary for us to have this
Have the Odyssey
new
made.
Odyssey? Yeah, I mean,
I
I can
think it's
okay.
you know what I think it is. I
Hmm.
think it is the director's magnus opus.
Magnum opus.
Magnum opus. I think it's his. I think he's doing that. I think he did several films. Um, and I think he's trying to do this film as his major
Hmm.
so gift to the world because I watched his interview on the Daily Show
Hmm.
and he was saying we're using these IMAX cameras.
Hmm.
And the thing with these IMAX cameras, according to him, is that you can only film for 3 minutes at a time.
What?
Yes.
What the hell?
And
No, they
so,
developed some that actually will go a little longer for him.
well, this is what he
They,
said on the. I'm just
I
repeating what he
know.
said on the Daily Show,
Yeah.
and he said it was 3 minutes at a time, so he had to interrupt his actors at certain points to tell them to hold that while they changed the film out for the
Mhm.
IMAX.
Mhm.
So, um,
That
you know,
IMAX is 70 millimeter film, so it's twice as big as the normal stuff they use.
Mhm.
and so he was saying that he was he had to stop people, stop in between scenes, and told them to hold the scene
Wow.
while they changed the whatever they needed to change in these IMAX cameras. And people were frustrated, but they understood. They understood what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so
That thing.
I think he was, trying to make this his, you know, testament film. This is his dream film they always wanted to make. And the thing is that what I liked is that I think John Stewart was trying to kind of make fun of the fact that it was his film. These films like this, like these mythological films, they didn't have a big budget, and previously there's not a lot of money poured into them, and so you had some of the Ray Harryhausen stuff and all that.
Mhm.
But what he did was he paid credit to the Ray Harryhausen type movies and stuff,
Mhm.
based on the technology that they had. And I don't know what the monsters or other creatures are going to look like in
Also,
this
sorry,
movie,
have to do a
but
sentence.
I think that there's some benefit to the Ray Harryhausen looking things, but I'm interested to see what he does with that.
Me too, because I saw one thing in particular where they were supposed to be, I think, where they were supposed to be fighting with some giants, but these giants were only like very, very
They were
much
very big.
taller.
They
Very,
were big, and
but not like
they were in
not
armor.
as
They were in
big. Yeah,
armor.
yeah, but they weren't as tall as like in the Ray Harryhausen Cyclops being like really, really, really
Oh
big.
yeah,
But
right,
but I said, but just enough bigger than you that you could fight them, but probably get your butt whipped. I really want to see that. I mean, I want to see those things like that. How he possibly read the Odyssey and determined, based on what the sizing of, how they actually would be in scale to each other. I would like to see that. I'm very interested also because just of the IMAX, how it looks
right.
on the screen, especially with my LASIK eyes now. I get to
Or
see anything.
right,
All
or
right.
the crew being turned into pigs.
Yeah, how's that
And
gonna look?
so are you going to are they going to do like the intermediate how they turn, or just they're going to be men, and then next thing you
And
know they're
then
going to be
pigs.
pigs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do that. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it.
The best to me, the best person who did those type of effects was Jim Henson.
Yes,
I
beautiful
remember
job.
that. Yeah, he did a beautiful job. I remember that one episode that he had when the guy, the storyteller, turned into like a rabbit. Was it a rabbit
Yes,
or a
into a
rat?
hair. Yes, into a hair. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And put him
Really
in the
well.
and put him in the stew or whatever it was.
Right. He did a really
They
good
turned into a
job.
flea, and yeah, and that was good stuff. I mean,
Really
wow.
good
Well,
job. But I think a lot of people, including people like Jackson when he did King Kong, a remake of King
hmm
Kong, they want these special effects to look real, more real,
yeah, but some
as
things
opposed to
are fantasy.
fantastical.
That's
Not
right. And
fantastical. Yeah.
they need to be fantastical, not real. I know what real looks like, but my dreams when I see things that are fantasy and fantastical, they don't look just like you said in King Kong, a big version of a gorilla. Those
Right.
things should be monstrous. It should be
Well,
frightening.
well, the thing is it frightening when Odysseus is going through his adventures that he sees a really tall person and he says it's a giant?
I mean, yeah,
Or
but I
is it
mean,
or is it like a giant and like we think giants look like, we would look like as tall as a building?
yeah, yeah, but I mean, I think when you have to be fighting this thing toe to toe, I think it is less. It's one thing for something to be a monster like the Ray Harryhausen Cyclops. Another thing for it to be like, I'm 5'3", and you send me out there to fight against Patrick Ewing.
Or
You know,
Wimbanyama or
oh
something.
well,
Somebody.
yeah, this is not good for me.
Yeah,
This is, I mean, because
but
they can put
you
hands
wouldn't
on
think
me.
that he would be a giant. You wouldn't think that a very tall 7'4" basketball player would be a giant.
No, but I would say somebody like Ewing, how big he is, big shoulders, big bodied. Somebody like Randall, these are big bodied men. And if I'm like me, my size, and for my size, I'm a big person, but I am, at 5 foot, 4, 5'3", 5'4",
So like
I am not
2 feet
dead
higher,
taller than I
taller than
am.
you, and like inches wider than you.
Right. And they,
Would you consider them giants?
I think that's what I'm saying. That I think that there are people who are quote unquote giants, as opposed to the fantastical concept of a giant, like like we think about in what's the name of the Jack and the Beanstalk,
Right.
but something like it. They're giant. They're bigger than us. Like 2 feet bigger than me, and a whole civilization of people that look like that. Man, they're gonna overrun us and beat our asses.
Would they
I'm
make you
not.
afraid? I mean,
Yeah.
no one's afraid of very tall basketball players walking down the street, right?
No, but if Patrick Ewing came and collared me and said gonna pummel me, I'd be very afraid.
Hmm.
That
I mean,
you're
the
putting.
concept,
I say you're putting them in scale, so that when you're thinking in terms of combat, it is not like a quote unquote fantasy where of Jack and the Beanstalk. This is these big ass people like Philistines, like Goliath, who is going to get a big giant sword or a club and and bash me into the ground because they got
right,
bigger muscles and got bigger reach, and that having to have war, physical warfare with people like this would be daunting.
right, right. But is it in a movie setting? Is this frightening? No.
I think, yeah, I think it would be even more
In a
frightening.
movie setting, is frightening. I mean, is as frightening as the Harryhausen, like
It's a
Jason the
different,
Argonauts, or
yeah,
the skeletons,
it's a
or
different type of fear because
Mhm.
that's like that fantastical fictional fear. And this is something where you're looking at that this could be something that actually happened to you, you know,
Or the
some,
Cyclops, or the
yeah,
Cyclops.
but that's
Is Cyclops
fantastical.
just a normal sized person, right, with one
Uh-huh.
eye?
Yeah.
That scary to you?
No, but if they had like they said, a whole, uh, well, not a family, a civilization of people, those cyclopses with, bigger than you by like 2 feet, so that, I mean, it's more frightening because you are not so much bigger than me, like a monster that could grab me and put me on a spit, but close enough in size to me that the thought that somebody close in size to me could actually try to kill me and eat me would really make me concerned,
Right.
you
Well,
know?
the thing is that in the trailers that I've seen, they
Okay,
have
that was
not
not a very nice sound. Go ahead.
in the trailers I've seen. I've not seen any of the Cyclops, or any of that. I
Yeah,
haven't
anything like
seen
that.
any of those.
But I just saw where they were with some
Yeah.
giants or something that they were with who were like in
Yeah,
armor
they're willing. Yeah,
and
they're willing to let that. Yeah, they're willing to let that go, but they're not willing to let anything else of their special, I guess, special
effects.
effects,
Yeah, out there.
or the creatures that or the Odysseus meets. Um,
Yes.
they're not letting that go. I don't think they even show the Trojan horse, do they? I don't think they show that in the
No,
trailer.
because it really shouldn't be in there.
But it's in there anyway. So
Yeah,
they don't show the Trojan horse what it looks like.
right.
I had my ideas of what it looked like over time.
Hmm.
It looked like a black huge black pony
Okay.
with people inside of it.
Okay.
Well, the debate now is, did the Trojan horse even exist?
Hmm. Well, that because the story of the Trojan horse is not in the Iliad.
Said they're in it.
It's the Aeneid. Yeah.
But it's a good story, and so you can't fault them for want to jam it in there because
Right, right, right. Yes, it's good stuff. Say, hey, somebody figured out something that would make this a better story.
yeah, I remember back when we were all together inside that horse.
Yeah, it was great.
That was the day.
And that's the
Yeah,
other
that
thing
was
about these classics, is a lot of them became classics because I read it and liked it, and you're my friend, and you
hmm
liked it because
Right, right.
I liked it and nobody ever questioned it.
Mhm.
But now that you can fact check most of this stuff, you begin to find out, well, this isn't quite as good as I thought, and it's basically just peer review.
Mhm.
That you do have to listen to people that say, this kind of sucks. And some of the stuff
Mhm.
could have used a little tighter editing
Mhm.
and of course, fact checking.
That right. I think that it is for this thing. I don't see the reason for actually doing it, like you said, so it's passion project. But I would like to see how it changes visually from back in the day. Remember, we talked about, I mean, years and years ago, the film The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which they eventually did, I think about a few years back, but it was not the original script. The original, they just took the title, but the original script they said was phenomenal. It is regarding the ship Demeter as it crosses from, Transylvania basically into London, and it everybody said that it was going to be this fantastic film, but the filming on the water was the thing that was going to be problematic. But now they have all the CGI and then better ways to be, recording on the ocean, on the well, bodies of water. They could have done it now, but that was not the script that was done. It was some different script that was done of that, and I think it's the same thing that when people have done these films, like Ray Harryhausen's Ulysses. We have, the Jason the Argonauts, regarding the, the period of the Greek myths, and now to have somebody say, okay, I'm going to try to translate this into what it would actually look like in scale, you know, uh, and on that water in that area, and let's see it for what it would have looked like for those people at that time. I think that is an interesting uh, type of a production, a concept. It will be, like you said, maybe one of his many opuses, his magnum opuses, and so we'll see. What is that? What's this ultimately going to look like? I mean, what do you think? Any comments, criticisms?
Well, I think
Are
it
we?
would be. And the thing is, do you film it as it looked like if you went out to the beach and saw it, or do you film it as they wrote it and you realize that the ocean, as they described it, was
Mm-hmm.
not exactly a character in itself, but it was part of the atmosphere. So
Yeah.
it's like if you did uh, a trip to the moon and you had
Mm-hmm.
people landing up there in bowler hats and waistcoats and not needing
Mm-hmm.
oxygen because that's what the original story called for, but it's not what you would find if you actually went up there on if you went up there today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and the other question is, like we talked about Animal Farm, is it close enough? If you watch this movie, and I think it's a little over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch this movie, is it close enough to the original that you can have a conversation with someone who actually read it?
Well, I think we should find that out. But right now, guys, we're like the last minute. We got to jump on off, and I appreciate everybody's coming in, stopping in. Your the conversation's been wonderful. So everybody, we'll be back again next week. Hopefully, when is this thing gonna play so we can see it and then talk about it? But let's see it
It's
and
out
talk about
now.
it. All right, we'll see it and talk about it. All right, guys, and then we see whether or not it is close enough to either all three, the Iliad, the Odyssey, and the Aeneid, to make us say, yeah, it was worth the watch. So, all right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again next week in the Otherhood. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.